Well, welcome everybody to another Power Lunch. Today is a little bit different. Originally, we were thinking about, the week after holiday, not really having a power lunch, but then, vacation schedules are challenging and those things. But then we kind of started thinking about what could we do as far as content that would be kind of interesting to people that was maybe a little bit homemade, a little bit of information that folks have been asking us about. And one of the things we came up with is looking at teams. And kind of giving an overview of teams. We get a lot of questions about teams. It used to be a lot of questions about SharePoint, but now it's a lot of questions about teams and some of the capabilities in teams. A lot of people kind of have a feeling or a sense that Teams is something they want to use, they want to take advantage of, but it tends to be kind of nebulous and they don't really maybe have a sense of what's in it or the capabilities. And we used to be that way. We were that way until recently. I guess we actually made the conversion around the first of the year, a little bit before the first year. In December, we converted to Teams from, we were using the Google suite of applications. And what I'll say is, for us, the best way to get into Teams was really jumping in with both feet and using it. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to use the tool. If you kind of go in halfway and back away from it and those types of things, it can get to be a challenge, and you never, the team maybe doesn't adopt the capabilities. But we committed to doing it. We moved all of our information over, all of our users, all of our data. We moved over into the SharePoint/Teams environment. We started using it as our exclusive tool for our environment, which at first was a little bit daunting. I will say that, but that only lasted a few days, to be honest with you. I was really surprised at how much our team embraced the using of Teams, embraced the communication capabilities and those types of things. I was very pleased and proud of our group for doing that. And I think that through our experiences, we can share some of the things with you guys. So this session today will be a little bit different in that we will do the Subway card. So all the attendees will get the Power Lunch Subway card, but we don't have a sponsor for the big drawing at the end. But you can still have a sandwich on us. So that works out pretty good. Today we have with us from our team, John and Derek. And they're going to give us an overview of some things. I might slide in there and show you some stuff along with it. But our session today is meant to be conversational, to give you an overview. I would love it if somebody has more questions and they want to do a deeper dive. I'd be happy to get in and just shoot me an email and we can go through some specific questions, show you how to do certain things. Definitely can do a deeper dive that way. This one is meant to be kind of a 101 overview, scratch the surface, show you some of the capabilities, and kind of give you a sniff of what's in there as far as general use of the product. So with that said, I'm going to turn over the screen to I think Derek can go ahead and take it. Derek, do you have the presentation?
Yep.
Yep. So Derek Grimm, he's a technician with NetV Pro. You should be able to take control of it. And there we go.
Okay, that should be looking all right.
Oh, I guess one other thing that I will mention is if you have questions, you can feel free to put it in the chat session. I'll be monitoring that. So Derek and John, you don't need to worry about it, but feel free to ask questions in that group chat session and we'll get those answered for you.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you, and tally ho.
Off we go. Alrighty, so welcome to Teams 101. We're going to try not to deep dive into anything too much as we want to, because that's just kind of who we are. We're just going to try to cover a lot of just kind of everything and just kind of show you what some of the features are. And if we go like that, so Teams is really great for communications. It allows you to manage a lot of properties. It's amazing for storing data, for sharing data, super quick and easy. It also allows you for a lot of integration of applications, and it allows you to create stuff on the fly, which is really fun. And then John, if you want to take the first one, let me know.
Sure. I'm gonna move this window out of my way. Okay, so communication. I'm probably going to talk a little more about how we use Teams rather than just generic stuff. So I'll hit the bullet points and move my cat. So we use it. We have a lot of time. Like we've got two guys who are interns right now, and I'm doing a lot of screen sharing, a lot of video calling with these guys, and we'll just tag team something, and we'll be on a video call. We'll share a screen. We'll jump on a problem, and we'll resolve it together. And even though James is in Wisconsin and I'm in Golden Valley and Bruce is in St. Cloud, we're still able to do those things together as a team, and it works great. Like making and taking Teams calls from cell phones. If somebody, it works from the computer, works from the cell phone. Doesn't matter whether you're Android or iOS. They've got apps for both. And we can add external guests to Teams and meetings, meaning we're not just tied to the Teams universe or the Microsoft universe. We can also communicate with other people who are Gmail or Hotmail or whatever. We can get those people involved in meetings and share information with them to some degree. So
yeah, John actually brings up a couple of interesting points there. The ability to hold an impromptu meeting when you're collaborating on something is tremendously valuable. I might be having a discussion with John about any number of things, and if I want to add in another one of our technicians, if he's got some information, I literally just click on a button and we can add that person. The slick part about that is that person might be at home telecommuting, they might be in the office, or they might be someplace on their mobile phone, and they can just use that app to answer that call and come in and be part of the conversation. And that actually capability holds true for both the voice feature and for the video feature.
One really great thing about the video feature, especially when you're working off of a cell phone, say I'm working with somebody remotely and we can get them on a Teams chat and they're trying to show me something in their environment. Gee, this server, these lights are blinking. What is this? Well, hop on the Teams thing, get the video up and running and show it to me. And now I can see it and we can have better communication that way and be better informed. It works really well.
Yeah, very handy for that collaboration process. And we probably won't go hugely into it during this call, but we can if anybody wants to do a deeper dive. But the ability to add external guests to those meetings is also very handy. I do have customers who have teams that have actually integrated me into their environment, so I'm able to do calls with them from Teams, which has completely changed the way we interface. With COVID and the lack of in on-site meetings, the ability to just be in their system and have those conversations has been very handy for us.
And screen sharing, we're talking about screen sharing here. This PowerPoint that's proof positive that it works, and it works well. Video quality is good. Everything just works. It's easy.
I think the other piece of it that folks are starting to pick up on is when you look at the virtual backgrounds. Like if you were to look at my video right now, you see me. I have a NetV Pro logo behind me. If I were to shut that off, you can see the actual background there. A little bit about how you can see how the sausage is being made, right? Some people like to personalize it. They can put a little bit of a goofy background on there, but we've decided to try to, within those of us who are talking to customers, standardize it. But you have the ability to do that. So if you're having customer-facing calls, you can put something on there that represents the organization, kind of takes out some of that background interference, if you will.
Or you can be silly and do things like, hey, I'm making a call from the bathroom. And, I did that on a meeting earlier this week, just internally, just for fun.
But there's a lot of those types of capabilities built into the product. Go ahead, Derek.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering if.
Yep, to go to the next slide.
Yep. If it wants to. There it goes. So kind of going off of that, with bringing in people from all sorts of areas, what's really great is you can actually break down the teams into smaller segments too. Within our own teams, we have a technician group itself. So as soon as a ticket comes in or project comes up onto the plate, all of us are just chatting immediately about what's going on, what's the problem, what's the solution. And instead of having 3 or 4 phone calls, we can all just jump onto the same call and knock out that issue within a couple minutes versus playing the telephone game and going back and forth. So just that allows for a huge amount of people power on a single project almost immediately.
Maybe Derek, maybe I'll jump in real quick and share my screen on the project piece of it, because I think that's something that people have asked us about. Is that all right?
Yep, go for it.
Right,
do I need to stop sharing?
I think I can just do this. All right, are you guys able to see my screen?
Nope. If we were using, oh, there we go. I was going to say, if we were using Teams, we could.
Do you see the Teams screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just take a look at this real quick. So this is part of Teams, and it's called Planner, and it gives the ability to do some high-level project planning. And this is something that we use a lot within our organization. I'll just give a brief high level on it. It uses a thing called cards. There's a concept of cards, and it lets you assign tasks. So these cards are able to move from category to category. Were you guys able to see that card move? All right, so those cards can be moved to different statuses. You can open the card up. Can you guys see that card? Open, okay. And then inside the card, there's all kinds of different things that you can do. You can assign ownership to that task. You can put it in different buckets. You can assign dates. You can have notes. You can do checklists. So within that task, there's all kinds of different deliverables you can assign to help you manage projects, help you manage tasks, to help that team be successful. The other piece of it is, if you see on the side, there's this ability to assign a label. You can assign those labels a value. You can click on it, and then that card will have that label on it. So if I wanted to say this card is urgent, I could make it pink or red and have that be a hot topic. So it gives you the ability to kind of prioritize things and do some different sorting and sifting within that environment. If you look up here, it also allows you to, if you have a bigger project, it gives you a dashboard. It tells you where you are with all these things, that you can look at your projects and see status, see who's assigned what. There's a lot of different pieces of information, and it also lets you lay that over a schedule, which I think is another handy thing. So it'll tell you where your cards are on which dates. So you can look at it. If you have a project that has a lot of deliverables over the course of a month, let's say, for example, you can see which days have which deliverables. And that can allow you to see, oh, geez, I have some time conflicts here. It gives you a real easy, consolidated way to understand what you're doing, who's assigned to it. Because if I look at it and I see I have John assigned to 20 tasks on one day, that might be a problem. So it allows us to manage those things just a little bit better. The other piece within that you can see is we have the chat function. So you can see that there's chats going back and forth. We share cool pictures of hail that happened this morning here in Minnesota, but it allows us to have these short, bursty conversations that you might not want to have in email. So that's part of it. The other piece is that you have files. You can save your files. And then the concept of a wiki, the ability to share information, similar to OneNote, but it allows you to share information about the projects or the tasks. And then I guess the last piece is, if we want to look at it, I'll show you a calendar. So when you look at your calendar, you are able to get into these meetings. So you can schedule a meeting within Teams, and when it comes up, so the meeting that I have highlighted here is the Power Luncheon meeting that we're in right now. I have a meeting afterwards. If it were a Teams meeting, a little button would pop up there and it says join, and you can just join right into that meeting. It drops you right in there. So the calendar feature ends up being very, very handy. I was just looking at a comment from David. Microsoft emerging planner and To-Do in the near future. To-Do is another app that I actually do use, so that's going to be a cool thing if they do get those products merged. The To-Do is a to-do list type of a thing that helps you manage deliverables and dates and those types of things. So it's good to see that those will be integrated. I will stop the share and you can take it back over, Derek.
Sounds good. So I'll make sure I'm hitting the right one. Nope, I think I hit the wrong one. Got a nice 2-screen manager.
Manage all that technology in one place at one time.
Oh yeah. Alright, that looks a little nicer. Alrighty. Anything else for this one, or are we ready for the next?
I think we can go to the next one.
Sounds good. There it goes. Alright, John, would you like the storage one, or?
Yeah, we pretty much covered a lot of that. Teams is integrated with OneDrive and with SharePoint, and so it makes sharing files and having a central repository for files a really convenient way to do things. Keith touched on the wiki piece and OneNote. We didn't really touch on OneNote, but OneNote is integrated. OneNote is integrated, and it helps to
OneNote is a tool that people have heard of, but not a lot of folks have ventured down the use trail with OneNote. OneNote is very good for kind of free-form information sharing. I actually use OneNote. I have an iPad and I take notes by hand, so I've tried to go paperless. But those notes that I take on my iPad, I'm able to access from my actual workstation. So if I'm out in a meeting or doing any kind of customer-based interactions, that information is available to me from my workstation when I return to the office. So OneNote kind of provides that platform that is, I don't know if ubiquitous is the right word, but it allows you to share across different platforms, phone, tablet, PC, any of that. But it also allows you to group that information. And that might be the biggest thing from kind of the store slide, is that you have the ability to group and manage your data or that information that you're sharing. So for example, if we have a team that chat going on and we have things in our world that are like maybe network diagrams or documentation of workstations or those types of things, it allows us to take that information and put it into that conversation or into that team. If John and I are interacting on something, let's say we're just producing some kind of a document for NetV Pro internally, and he and I are working on it together, we can take that document and put it in our chat session. So that file is actually within a chat session. So John and I can reference it. We don't need to keep attaching it in emails, going back and forth. It really allows us to take that information, put it in a spot, and work on it collaboratively, and have it, I don't know if I want to say sorted, but have it organized in a way that makes sense. If you're an organization that has people working together on different things, that information being put together is really a handy thing. You don't have to go back through and look through an email and go, oh, here's this attachment, here's that attachment. You can look in the files and it's right there.
Yep. I figured that'd be a good transition point.
Yeah, good segue. Yep.
So what he was mentioning there too, where one click of a button, I'm sending a document from myself into John or myself onto that entire team. The other awesome thing is you're also able to share it from yourself. So especially right now, with a lot of people working from home, you're able to send it from your work computer back to your home computer or even onto your your mobile phone, whether that's iPhone or Android. You're able to take a lot of these Word documents, Excel documents, bring them with you on the fly, and just send them right to that device. So you're not just stuck on the one machine anymore, which is really, really nice.
And the interesting thing is that knits all of it together. So if you even think about the work that we were all doing today, maybe we were doing some stuff in Word, maybe we're doing some stuff in Excel, maybe we had some web-based things that we're doing. Now we have to stop doing that, and then we log into our Zoom call, and we have all these credentials we're logging in, and we're doing these different things. Well, the thing about Teams is that it kind of brings it together in a suite. So, I can work in Teams, and if I wanted to, get a hold of, let's say, for example, my super customer Kathy wants to add me to their thing. Hi, Kathy, and we wanted to have a call where she needs to interact. We can do that with Teams, and we don't have to stop the course or the flow of our normal business, our normal activities. We can just get in Teams, have that meeting, interact, and it's a natural part of your business, part of your workflow. You don't have that start and stop and start this application, stop that application. It's all kind of together in one spot. It kind of is an intuitive flow. It really, I wear my headset all day. Right, because I have calls after calls and different interactions and stuff. That's because of Teams. That has completely changed the way my day operates. Just those types of interactions that allow you to, number one, share communication, and number two, share information very easily.
Another way that I personally use Teams is I have a desktop at home and I have a work laptop. And when I have things in Teams or SharePoint or OneDrive, those things are all synced between the two machines. So I can be on my home machine working my normal day, go out to a client site with some information that I put on my home machine, fire up my work laptop, and guess what? All that information's right there. It's right there for me to use when I need it, how I need it. It's handy as heck.
Yep. Well, and that's the other piece, is just the intuitive nature. There's things about, I don't know if, we might have some SharePoint users. SharePoint, well, it was kind of cool and kind of neat. There's some less than intuitive parts of it. Microsoft has done a good job with Teams to make a lot of these interactions intuitive. There's still, there's still things that are a little bit clunky, but by and large, the communications and the tools are pretty intuitive. They've done a good job of addressing a lot of those usability challenges. You'll probably go on to the next slide.
Sounds good. All right. So, kind of speaking of that interaction between the different applications and bringing it into Teams, there's actually a really good amount of interlacing applications. So we already kind of went over Planner, where you have that big old board of these are all the things we need to do for this project. We're just all within one environment, looking at the same slide and just moving those cards back and forth. You also have Flow, which is something that I like to play with a lot, which allows for a great amount of automation. You can send out tickets or emails on a monthly feed. We actually have multiple of these just to kind of keep us on track for just random upkeep things that we need to take care of.
We even created an app. Derek created an app for to request days off. Those types of things that we're able to do. Simple little tasks that we, let me take a step back. Once you start using Teams, you start thinking about, hey, how can I do this different? How can I do that different? An example for us was the ability to automate day request, time requests off slips or requests. That's an example where it helps you start thinking about things in a different way. And we created our own little app and are able to use that internally now. I think the other piece there too is if you have a business that relies on information from the outside that can be external, the RSS feeds is kind of an interesting thing. We have one customer who uses RSS feeds for government information. They're in the food industry. They have reason to follow government organizations, and when those types of policies change or when legislation change, they want to know about it. The specific organization that they're part of has an RSS feed, so when something different pops into the pops into that RSS feed. Now they get an instantaneous notification that that's going on. And I think, and maybe Derek, do you mind if I take the screen one more time?
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to show everybody. Let me see here.
Yep, let me know when you're ready.
Yep, I got her.
Okay.
I just want to show you. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Screen number 2. Let's take a look here. How about now?
Yes.
So when you look at Teams, and we're not going to do anything too crazy, I just want to show you and illustrate. Down in the lower left-hand corner, there's this thing called Apps. And you click on that, and it shows you the different apps. There's third-party apps that it can integrate to. Can you see those?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're using SurveyMonkey and you're doing a lot of surveys, you can integrate SurveyMonkey into your Teams environment. One of the ones that I just started using is Miro. I don't know if anybody's ever used Miro or not, but you can integrate Miro and the maps that you create in Miro right into your environment. I actually have, you can see on my screen, I have Zoom set up in mine. So if I want to kick off a Zoom meeting from Teams, I can just go ahead, click on that. I can set up the meeting and do a call. So point being that there are several apps, like lots of apps that integrate directly into Teams. Microsoft had enough foresight to allow that in their environment. Like I was just looking, and Cisco WebEx is there, but that's quite a powerful tool if there's outside applications that you're using in your environment that you'd like to integrate into your team space. All right, go ahead there, Derek.
Go ahead back. Yep. And then going into different applications you can use. John, if you like this one.
Yeah. Like it says here, Teams comes with the Office suite built into it, and that allows for easy collaboration in that, say, Derek and I are working on a spreadsheet together. We can both have it up in Teams. We can both see what each other's doing live. It's a live document, and it's handy because we can be on a video call, have a document up, be working on it, collaborating that way. We can see what's going on. We can be working on the same thing at the same time without stepping on each other's toes. It just works great.
It's very handy.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Derek. It's fine.
Oh, I was just going to mention, if anyone's used the Google suite where they have like the Google Sheets and Google Docs, it's very akin to that, but with the added power of we're not just both staring at the same screen, we're also in a video conference at the same time while we're working on this. We can actually see what the person's doing and bounce ideas off a lot faster and a lot nicer that way too. So it's taking that initial really good concept and just adding on to it.
Yeah, it's surprising how much the ability to have a live voice or live video collaboration session adds to the whole creation process. It really does. It inspires new stuff. It's very good. It's very handy. I think from a person who collaborates on a lot of documents, I really do appreciate the ability to do those things.
Alrighty, and that should be our last slide. Was there any questions, comments, concerns, or?
Well, we always have concerns.
I'm having a bad hair day.
Yeah.
Going to teach us how to do our backgrounds, Derek.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we can teach you how to do that type of stuff. Any other functional questions or anything that you have on your mind that you'd like to go over or just find out more about?
Otherwise, we did go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that we did go over a lot of information, and I know I speak really fast, so if you have any questions, just let Keith know or let I know, and we'll certainly help you out.
That's actually, Ross just shot over a good question. How long does Teams keep the information saved?
Many
documents,
months,
etc. Well, yeah, I don't know that is there a time frame on it? I know there's a capacity limit, but I have not run into a time frame limit. John, have you run into that?
I have not. Like you said, it's a capacity issue. It's not a time issue.
I think there is another piece of this, for us to think about, and we can do another session on that, and that is just, Office 365 and the backing up of that. When we talk about documents, document retention, those types of things, it's important for us to know that Microsoft is not backing up everybody's Office. Well, let me take a step back. They might be doing it, but they're not telling us they're doing it.
They not guarantee access. They don't guarantee your data, but they guarantee access to their resources where your data resides.
Yeah. So,
as far as a good example for us, this question, I'm as far back as October in some of my chats, and that data is still there. It's just not going to be a fully loaded, so it just takes a while to go back there, but it does have very long lasting data. That's kind of nice.
All right. I guess the last thing, and then we can let everybody go enjoy the rest of their day, is that if you have questions, email me anytime, keith@netbpro.com. Email me anytime. I'm happy to talk about it. If you want to set up a deeper dive session, I can do it. If you have specific technical questions, I can get John and Derek and other resources in NetBPro engaged to help answer those questions for you. I think Paul is on the phone, but I'm going to say plug your ears, Paul. Those informational sessions are not something that we're going to charge you for. I'm more interested in answering questions and helping people expand their knowledge and make some decisions about the tools that they use in their businesses. So, like I said, if you have questions, if you want to dig deeper, shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk about it and really help people, just expand the way they're able to use the tool in their business. If there's no other questions, I'd like to thank everybody for your time. We're going to have some great upcoming power lunches. We are going to have Infina will be joining us to talk about server products. I believe we are also going to have Thycotic join us, and they will talk about their security products in upcoming sessions. So we have your information. We'll send out the notices, and I think those will be some interesting upcoming sessions to be sure. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe and try to stay cool. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, great. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.